well. Thank you very much. Okay, welcome everybody to another episode of the More Deals Mastermind. Again, creating more opportunities in any market, and today is no different. We've got a great show along with my co-host, Cathy Ryan. What's up in today's real estate market? How agents can pivot and win with your special guest, Larry MF White. Before we get Larry on the call, man, Larry, I tell you, brother, I've got the most amazing little introduction, and so here it goes.
I'm ready for it. Give it
Larry MF White, and we'll address that in a moment, guys. Catalyst and creator of opportunities. Pay attention to that. He's a respected real estate coach with a strong default properties background, and he is my ambassador of Quan. He's passionate about helping agents grow. Larry is known for challenging conventional thinking. Pay attention to that as well. Creating meaningful connections, equipping real estate professionals with practical strategies and build strong businesses, generate more opportunities, and thrive in any market. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to my friend, my ambassador of Quan, Larry MF White.
Man, I'm so thrilled to be here. How's it going, brother?
You know what? It's awesome. So let's just address the elephant in the room. For those of you that don't know, tell us who Larry MF White is.
So yes, so the MF was born at a Tony Robbins conference. You spend about 4 days. If you guys haven't been through Tony Robbins, it's a must. Like, it changed the trajectory of my life. But we were sitting down and going through this exercise, right? And you have to be different people at different points in time. Right. And so there was a time where you need to be a husband, where you need to be a father or a wife or a mother. Right. There's a time where you need to get some shit done, like move out of the way. Right. That Kobe Bryant moment, like, give me the ball, but 4 people are guarding you. They can't guard me. Give me the ball anyways type moment. Right. And so Tony was asking, he was like, who is it, like, when you're unstoppable? Right? When there's nothing that can get in your way, when you're in flow state. And the first thing that came to mind was, that's Larry motherfucking White, right? Like, just give me the ball, like, let me go, let me run. Now, you don't always need to be that, right? Like, again, I don't have to be that with my friends, with my family and stuff all the time, but you almost have to have these different alter egos, depending on what the market, depending on what the data is that you have to be able to tap into. So that was one of my first Tony Robbins events, and I think it was 2014 and stuff like that. And it stuck with us, and now it's a branding mechanism at this point in time.
That's your alter ego for sure, brother. And you know, we've spent a lot of time together at the Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within, walking on a little fire ourselves. Cool mas. And it's been just a game changer. I know Carla, my bride, was fired up. And what a great experience. So Larry, let's just get right into it. Tell us a little bit about what's going on. You do a lot of coaching, a lot of training. You're helping agents really get out of their own way, is the way I look at it. Is kind of slap them around, say, here's what we're doing. Let's get focused. Tell us a little bit about how you're helping agents grow their business.
Well, so here's the interesting part, right? Because for everybody on this call, it's totally different, because all of you guys have a different business plan. What I say for Celeste is going to be different from Doug, which is different from Rita, which is different from Juliet. Because a business plan of, I want to do a deal a month, right, is much different than I want to do 3, 4, 50 deals a year, 100 deals a year, whatever it might be. Those are all different business plans. You have to have different mindset going into it. You have to have different systems and different resources. So, I coached and trained for Tom Ferry for about 8 years. I know some of you guys are in Southern California. He just finished up the Tom Ferry Summit and stuff over there. And what I learned from him is, like, every agent is so unique. So where I would come back, Robert, is, what are each of your guys' business plans? Right? Because the math is the math. And this is what I can tell you in all, like, this is the backstone of every business plan that I have ever created for an agent. For every 60 people that you talk to, it will result in a deal. Now, ask yourself, how many people are you talking to each day, each week, each month? If you're not talking to 60 people a month, I can tell you, like, it's going to be, you can get lucky, but it's not going to be duplicatable to produce a deal every single month. So now that you've kind of reverse engineered that math, now we can figure it out. If you want to do 20 deals a year, right? That tells me that we need to make 1,200 contacts this year. Now, that is where you have to build your business plan on what 3 to 4 action items are you going to do to get those. That can be open house. That can be cold calling. You could be buying leads. You could be doing this. There's no right or wrong answer. Like if Norman is never going to cold call somebody, I don't need to teach Norman the best script to call FSBOs and expire. It's like, just tell me what you want to do and let's focus on that, because the more that you want to do it, the more that you're going to enjoy it and the more that you're going to actually do it. I don't need to try and pull a horse uphill. Like that is not going to work for me, right? Like the horse is bigger, it's stronger. Like you're going to dig your heels in and you're going to do what you want. So just tell me what you want and let's be the absolute best at that every single day. So that's a really hard question to answer because everybody's business is totally different. But what I would suggest is that all of you have 3 to 4 buckets that you guys are peeking into. As Robert said, one of mine, since I got into real estate, has been the REO and default business. And I never got out of it, right? Like I got an $800,000 listing last week in Phoenix, Arizona, when there's not supposed to be REO. Now, has it shrank? Like, yes, it has. I used to have a team that did 320 plus REOs every single year. I'm not seeing that. So had I not had multiple streams of business and stuff coming in, that's when people start looking at career changes and stuff like that. Yep. So one is always your center of influence, your past clients, etc. Right? And actually, if you want, Robert, I'm happy. Maybe I can actually add it into here. This is probably like the one that agents sleep on the most. And
do you want to share your screen?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm trying to, I was trying to add, let me see, like I'll pull it up and I'll just add a file here. But I created, like back when I was coaching and training for Tom Ferry, I created this kind of gold mine audit and I used to sell it for people. Now information is anywhere, so I just give everything away for free. So I will pull it up here in a second as I'm talking. But this is the lowest hanging fruit. And for some reason, agents hate to reach out to their center of influence. I don't want to sound like a salesperson. I don't want to do this. Then don't. What if you reached out to them and you added so much value to them that it was a disservice that they didn't come back and use you? Like that is my mantra when I'm working with agents. Like, and if somebody decides not to partner with me, I'm like, oh my gosh, where did I miss explaining this? Like, where are you getting this now? How are you getting these resources? Who's building this stuff out for you? Like, that's my mantra. You should have that same mantra when you're reaching out to any of your clients and stuff as well. And so, hold on, I'm pulling this up now. I'm going to drop this in here. So this gold mine audit that I just dropped into the chat there, that is literally, will have you go through your entire phone. It will have you score every person in your phone, right? With this, like it's going to ask 5 questions on each. You'll score them 1 through 5. And then you'll have categories, right? Like the ones are like, yo, these are the people that are most likely to buy based on the information. Oh, they bought a home from you 6 years ago. They did this, they did that. It's going to take all of this into account. Then it's going to give you text, email, calls, voicemails, like scripts of every different, like all of those have different things that you need to say to them as well. So it's going to give you the script if you want to text them, if you want to call them, if you want to email them, and then it's going to give you the cadence and stuff as well so that you can put that cadence into your CRM. Guys, that is the lowest hanging fruit. Like when somebody's like, oh, I'm broke, I need to produce more business. This is my go-to because it produces the most results the fastest, right? I can get agents into REO, but if you're in California, like we might be waiting for a while, right? Like that is instant gratification. And again, I think that a lot of that starts with just kind of your mantra and your mindset of how are you adding value to people? Don't go with your hand out saying, oh, I can sell your home for the highest price in the lowest amount of time. Excuse my language. Like, no shit, that is your job. Like, don't go to people and tell them that you're going to do the baseline of your job. Like, reach out if they're business owners. How can you add value to them? Oh my God, Robert, you own an electrical company? You know how many homes I have sold? Every house has electrical, and I always get recommendations. Could I refer you out, like as my preferred contractor? Right? Like, how do you add, the more value that you add to other people, the more valuable you will become at the same time. And I didn't leave. I just had to turn my fan on and stuff here. So
because it's getting hot in there.
Right? I start walking around, like I said, I start getting all antsy, and it's like a workout session over here when I get all amped up and stuff. But that's like probably the biggest one. It is just there, right? Like, use it, like tap into it. Even if you've been in the business, I guarantee you there's people in your database that you forgot about, or you don't have a database, you don't manage a database. That is by far one of your pillars that you should do. And then figure out what are those other 2 or 3 pillars that you want to add on top of that.
Larry, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How often should you be reaching out to your database? Some say once a month, once a quarter.
So literally that gold mine audit breaks that down based on where you scored them, right? If
Okay.
they're a 1, it's going to be like, that means that literally there's leading indicators that tell you that they're primed and ready to buy. So they're going to be more frequent. If they're a D or F, right? If you sold their home 3 months ago and they just moved into a new home, like, no, you don't need to reach out to them every single month, right? So it's based on that scoring system on you want to talk to the people that are hotter more often, right? You get a Zillow lead or a realtor.com lead, right? Like, if you don't respond within 5 minutes, I can tell you it's a 60% drop off in statistics of whether you'll be able to convert them or not. Absolutely. That's going to be a lot. Like, I wouldn't name it this, but when I was running my team, we implemented a strategy called 7 days of pain. Now I get it. That was before Tony Robbins. It wasn't that motivational, but damn it, it worked. Like, for 7 days, when we got a lead in online, we would be following up with them and reaching out to them in a various number of different ways for the first 7 days, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And it was painful. Like, I didn't like doing it, but it worked, right? And so for me, there was more motivation of not being broke and being able to support my family than it was to get through that painful process of calling a stranger.
You know what, Larry, I love how you talked about the lowest hanging fruit. Let's expand on that, because in my opinion, the lowest hanging fruit is a FSBO, is an expired. These are folks that have their hands up, and if you're not reaching out to them, these are the people that want to sell today. Your circle of influence, they may want to sell tomorrow, next year, 10 years. You need to have a balance of all your prospecting tools. Get the lowest hanging fruit and then work your way up the tree. But I think the biggest thing is it starts with, Larry, putting it on your calendar. If you don't put prospecting on your calendar, I guarantee it's not going to happen. It's like an appointment you intend to make but don't do. Put it on your calendar and be very clear and purposeful, and use the scripts, particularly to a FSBO around not wanting to pay a commission, an expired that somebody's been on the market for 6 months with no success. Understand what it is you're talking to. Larry, that is such a huge point. But at the end of the day, 60 to 1. So 60 people, 1 deal. What are your numbers? How are you going to know if you don't track and measure those numbers? If you're just making random calls, not keeping track of it, you won't know how to track your success, where you need to make your in-flight adjustments. Larry, huge tool. What else do you got for us, Larry?
And before we move off, you mentioned FSBOs and expireds, right? Those scare a lot of people. It's probably the way that they're going about it, right? I see Celeste, like the 10 days of pain with Ben Kinney. Actually, that may have been it because I was at KW. I thought it was 7 days, but it may have been the 10 days of pain. It was painful, don't get me wrong, but it did work at the end of the day. A lot of people are scared of FSBOs expireds because a lot of times those people are mean, but most agents are bugging the hell out of them. Like, hey, so your home just came off the market, right? You want to relist? Like, no, they're mad at real estate professionals in general. And this is where I think you could switch the script. I see you put on there the seller assist program and stuff like that, right? Like, which is huge. Like, I've been working with Joe Peterson and consulting with him for, man, probably 6 or 7 years now, helping curate that. That is one of those things. Don't reach out with your hand out saying like, oh, I would love to take your listing. How do you add value? Right. And that's where I've worked with auction platforms and things like that for a long time. What if you reached out and you were like, Doug, look, I know that you never wanted to work with a real estate agent again. I have people that want to make an offer on your home. And like, there's still a lack of inventory. Would you be open to looking at an offer if I presented one to you? Oh, great.
And you can go in there, with 5 offers and hand with the cash offers through the same platform. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's an awesome tool.
And
Absolutely.
I put in the chat, I put in what Larry was just referring to, the 14-day home offers platform. It's the cash offers platform, gives you cash offer seller leads. It's a killer. But if you want the transparent online offers platform, that link's also in there, Larry.
Yeah. Like those are things that differentiate you from your competition. And that's what I've always done.
Yeah.
Like in the REO and default space, like you go to these conferences and be like, oh, I can list your homes in Houston and Phoenix and this and that. Like, oh, well, thanks. Right. Like, and know what happens to the stack of business cards? Like they get thrown in the trash. But this is where I still reach out to my asset managers, even the ones I don't work with anymore, every single quarter. That is part of my follow-up system. And I reach out and I'm like, Cathy, I know that you're not expanding your network, but do you need anything else in Houston and Phoenix and this and that? Like if you ever need a secondary opinion, a contractor bid, I want to add so much value to people that it is a disservice that they do not use me. And that is where you have to have some sort of a system. And I guess you don't have to, but it's going to make your life a heck of a lot easier. And with technology and everything like that, there's no reason that you shouldn't.
Yep.
Like with what we're building out, like, oh my gosh, on AI and everything like that, like I think I'm close to replacing myself at this point in time.
That's the goal, baby. That's
Yeah.
the goal. So let's do this. Let's talk about that. Let's go into that if you'd like, because you have a unique situation with some relationships you've built over the years for Funnel Pilot in particular. I've been a part of it, and I look forward to getting back into the beginning of September. But it's been a game changer in terms of getting interested people, because everybody wants one thing: they want leads. And if you can show them a way to get leads the easy rock and roll way, it's a game changer. So, Larry, tell us a little bit about what you've got going on with Funnel Pilot.
Yeah, and the Funnel Pilot was really a game changer for us. Like I love REO. I love listings. If you guys are in that space, it's very unpredictable. Am I going to get 1? Am I going to get 10? Am I going to get like, who knows? That's hard to run your business off of.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know that I actually needed Funnel Pilot. But, I was at a mastermind actually in Scottsdale, Arizona. And Jay Kinder, who was the #2 Coldwell Banker agent in the world for 6 years, him and I were at the same table talking. And I was like, man, #2 Coldwell Banker agent in the world. Like, where are you from? He's like, Lawton, Oklahoma. And I thought he was joking with me. Because, guys, I don't even know where Lawton, Oklahoma is on a map, right? I'm like, how do you sell 500? Like, do people even sell 500 homes? I was really confused. But here's what he did. I found out that there was a military base, right? And he would figure out where people were coming from or being restationed. And he would reverse engineer and market and advertise over there. So that way people knew of Jay Kinder before they got to Lawton, Oklahoma. And then when they got to Lawton, Oklahoma, and they saw his signs, or they did this, or they did that, they were like, oh my gosh, like I have to use Jay. So I was like, okay, logically that makes sense. And he's like, look, I'm producing leads for $1 to $3 a lead right now. Guys, I don't know how long everybody's been in the business. I haven't seen $1 to $3 a lead since the early 2000s. Like, it's been like, it's not uncommon to pay 40, 50, 60, $100 a lead right now based on, you know, their version of qualified or whatever they're selling to you. And so I was like, Jay, this sounds fine. This sounds great, but I can't bring it to these people if it doesn't actually work. And so he's like, well, test it out. And so I did. I tested with my team in Arizona. And it took about 2 or 3 weeks to get it all set up and dialed in. You go through, you set up your Facebook business page, you pick 3 different markets, and then AI and technology has allowed him to scale this and help other people use this. And so I picked 3 different markets, it analyzed, and it said, okay, based on what you're talking about, price reductions in Tempe, Arizona are going to give us the biggest bang for the buck. So I was like, let's try it out. Right? I was rolling the dice, listening to them automatically. And guys, in the first 30 days, I produced 103 registered buyer leads. 7 of those went to my lender and 4 were fully pre-qualified. And I was like, this will work. This will bring consistency into my business because when you set up the right system like that, it is producing business whether you go to work or not. And when you know who's buying in Tempe, Arizona, anybody here know where Tempe, Arizona is?
ASU.
Right? ASU, right? Like one of the #1 party schools, also my alma mater, right? But here's the thing, right? Like, you know that people are going there, and a lot of it is parents. They're buying rental homes for their kids, right? When you know the profile of who's buying, now you can ask different questions. Now you can use different pictures for marketing and advertising. Because if I know that Doug's dropping off his daughter at school, maybe that's the picture of like saying bye to your kid at college, right? And this and that. And now it starts tugging at your heartstrings because you're not just guessing. If you guys were moving here to Katy, Texas, where I live, here's the thing. I know that you're moving here. You probably have a family size of 5 or more people. I know that you're looking at Katy ISD because it's the best school district in Texas. And you have a family of 5 or more. And the odds are that you're either an engineer or you're in the oil and gas space. I can get very granular on how I speak, the questions that I ask, and how I follow up with those people. So what happens is we start producing 2 to 6 registered buyer leads a day coming into the funnel. It's automatically sifted, goes into my CRM. Bold Trails works the easiest without any add-ons and stuff like that. We build out the follow-up campaign and it starts incubating. And then like you're getting text messages that's like, hey, Robert's been on your website 4 times today. Like, you should reach out. And I call Robert and Robert's like, Larry, I was just thinking about you. And I'm like, that's so weird. You were thinking of me and I called. Like, how can it? It's like, right? Like everything just kind of comes into place. That's what I'm talking about when you have a system, right? So imagine you have that. Like, what does your business look like with an extra 2 to 6 registered buyer leads? Now the first question is like, are they good leads? How many leads are you producing today? It's better than those, because here's what I can tell you. If I can generate 80 to 100 registered buyer leads a month for you, are all of them going to talk to you? No, they're not. I can tell you statistically that 30 or 40 of them will. Robert, how many people did I say that we need to contact to get to a deal?
60.
60. So now, statistically, I can tell you just from that program, every month and a half, we will be producing a deal off of that. That's what the numbers tell me. Now, the better you get at converting, the better you get at adding value. Now that could drop to 1 to every 50, 1 to every 40, like the better your skills are, right? 60 is average. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be average. Average people get divorced. Average people lose their jobs. Average people do this. Like, excuse me, fuck average. Like, I want to be absolutely outstanding, right? Like, I want to be stellar. What do you want to be? Right? Like, that is up to you at the end of the day. But the better that you are, the more that you will get out of the system. And that's where like Jay Kinder, they have a lead conversion like call once a week, right? Like, they will go through this with you. In Texas, like, we love using that to target new home construction, because right now they're desperate. They're thirsty out there. 2.9% interest rates, buyer agent incentives, all of these other things, because their inventory is sitting longer at this point in time. And so you can run ads to that and it generates a lot. And in Texas, this is the only place that we have it, but there's this program called New Home Buddy, where you can see all of the incentives, and basically it's an MLS just for new home construction. And so if I know that you're looking at new homes, and I can give you one place to search for all of them, and I can see what you're looking at, that's where it's like cheating on this side of things, right? But it's about doing that. And so, you know, I see that, Cathy, like Jay and I are actually hosting a live call tomorrow at 12 Central Standard Time that walks through how we build that out, and how we build it out, how it works, the tech stack that you need, the different opportunities to work with us. Like, just go and attend and take some information and stuff from it at the end of the day. Or, you know, like, put your name on there, Cathy, or like Robert, they can get you registered and stuff for it as well. But guys, that has been like the cheat code to fill agents' pipeline in a hurry. Again, I love REO, and I know REO is coming, guys. Consumer debt's at an all-time high, auto default loans, we're at a place of unaffordability. I just don't know when it's coming at this point. So that has generated a ton of business, and I'm just helping groups and teams and stuff like that grow faster than anything else, because it's producing results at this point in time.
You know, Larry, I think what you brought up, that funnel pilot is absolutely dynamite. Thanks for putting that in the chat. What I've been talking to a lot of folks is those buyer leads that they're getting, those buyers are sellers. They need to sell so they can buy. That's a big deal. It's not just a whole slew of first-time home buyers. They're going to drive around looking at mobile homes. Nothing wrong with mobile homes, nothing wrong with first-time buyers, but you get my point. These buyers, I'm finding, are move-up buyers looking to sell so they can buy. That's hitting a home run, Larry. Thanks for talking more about that. And I encourage anybody that's on the call, check it out for yourself. I mean, their system is bulletproof. So Larry, thanks for talking about that.
And on that point, like, I have an agent, Kelly Cummings, that's blown my results out of the water. He's been using that platform since January. This guy closes 60 REO deals a year anyways, but he wanted to diversify, just like with what we're talking about. He's been using since January, over 900 leads being incubated in his system, has closed 7 deals, took 2 listings because 2 of them needed to sell before they bought their new home, and working with another 3 right now. Like, if you haven't produced that, or if you don't have a system producing that, you should be on tomorrow's call to learn from it, see how you could rip it off, duplicate it, try and figure out, like, I don't care, like, but you could learn something from it for sure. It's generating more opportunities than anything I've seen.
Yeah, I love it. I tell you, that's I've talked to a lot of folks that are having some great success. So thank you for that. The default market. Now, you and I have known each other for a long time, and we both come from a very similar background in terms of the default market. But I want to get your take, because you're probably one of the smartest guys I know when it comes to default in that space, the distressed properties market. You know, I'm a fan of working with the pre-foreclosure market to position myself for the post-foreclosure space. But what is your take, Larry MF White's take on the default space? It's not here yet. I've got a couple REOs in my inventory. Kelly's got a number of REOs in his. We all have a number of them. But what are you seeing in the default space right now?
So there was a consolidation of companies. Actually, I think throughout the entire industry, you're seeing a consolidation.
Yep.
Real is buying Remax, Anywhere Brands, acquiring, Compass acquiring Anywhere Brands, NAR and the NAR competitor, right? Like you're seeing this consolidation in the market. And I don't think the default space is any different. There used to be hundreds of asset management companies. As inventory has dropped, those larger companies, right, are acquiring the smaller ones, and now they can absorb them, and now it becomes a little bit more efficient, economies of scale type thing. And so I mentioned this briefly, but if you look at our last downturn, right, maybe the bottom 2008, 2009, we are in 2026 right now. Guys, we are 18 years into an upward market. Anybody know what the average market cycle is? 8 to 12 years. Guys, in my eyes, we are 6 years overdue. And I was actually at an RAO conference in 2019 debating with a Freddie Mac economist. And he was like, oh, the market looks like it's doing great. It's doing this. And like, I was just looking at the average market trend of 8 to 12 years and using a little bit of common sense. And I didn't have the numbers to back my stats nearly what he did, but it was definitely a difference of opinion. I think 2020, we should have had a market correction.
Yep.
But what happened? COVID. And what did we do? That scared the hell out of us. And so we turned on the printing press and we injected trillions of dollars into the market. And it sent every asset class parabolic: gold, silver, crypto, real estate, stocks, everything went like this. And in my eyes, no good reason. Manufacturing stopped. Like everything stopped during COVID, but yet everything was going like this. And so again, I'm just looking at things at common sense. What else did we do during that time? We stopped foreclosing on properties. Literally, if you were having a hard time, you could pick up the phone and call your bank and say, like, oh, you mentioned the C word, right? COVID, no other C word, right? You mentioned the C word. And literally they'd be like, oh my gosh, would it help if you didn't pay your mortgage for a year? Oh man, that sounds great. You know what? You could call them back at the end of next year, do it again and again. Like some of you guys are in California. It's not uncommon for you guys to have an $8,000 to $12,000 a month mortgage payment, which blows my mind, which is why I live in Texas, right? But add that, compound that over a year, 2 years. Guys, that still has to that's not freebies. Those aren't grants. It's being tacked on. So the argument of everybody has equity, I'm not buying it personally. Now, are there always people that have equity? Absolutely. Not all. And that's going to chew up that equity really fast. And then you have interest rates on top of that. That's just compounding your balance and stuff like that. Like they weren't like, yes, they were prolonging it, but in my eyes, they were kicking the can down the street. Now, like politically, we're volatile. Like we're in a war. We're not in a war. Gas prices are up. Gas prices are not, right? Like everything is so polarized right now. I don't know what the black swan event is going to be to get the shoe to drop, but I feel like we're on a house of cards right now.
Yeah.
18 years into this market. And you'll look at this, right? As markets lead into a recession, right? It starts with consumer debt. Consumer debt is historically at an all-time high, which tells me either people are not making enough money or they're overspending. One of the two or a combination of both. And then after they run out of room on their credit cards, they have to start strategically not paying bills. Well, auto loans tend to be the highest. Like, again, some people are paying $1,200 plus a month on auto. I'm like, you pay what? Oh my God, like that's more than like my first mortgage, right? Like you're paying that on a car? And then, like when that runs out, then they have to start strategically going after the mortgage. So again, foreclosure stats have increased 20-30% year over year.
Yeah.
Now, like we still have to rebuild all of these different departments and stuff like that. But if you start positioning for that market, I believe that this next 4 to 8 years could set up the rest of your lives if you do it correctly.
Yeah.
We're in like 2004. If you could have been a Fannie, Freddie, REO listing broker in that time, like, man, you didn't have a lot of issues. Like you were closing thousands of deals a year. That is this time. But there's not instant gratification. And most people don't like that. They'll be like, oh, I applied for a bank and they didn't call me back. I'm like, and? Right? Like, why didn't you do that every month? Right? Like, why didn't you do it again? Why didn't you add some value to them? Why didn't you stalk them on Facebook and find out their real names and this and that? Right? Like, how bad do you want it? This is your business. Right? Like, I will find a way to capitalize on that and help my, I run the REO Alliance on Facebook. It's about 12 different companies that I consult for and stuff like that. Like, how are you positioning yourself? Right? Are you at the events where all of these asset managers are? Right? Going to speak at NADP, in I think next month or something like that. And then REOX right after Tony Robbins' event. I'll be at 5-Star, right? Like, because that's where my clients are. Right? Who's going to do business with you if you never show up to their house when they invite you at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So right now is about positioning at this point in time and applying for as many of these spots as possible because they're not going to need you until they do. And when they do, that could change the trajectory of your business and your life. And that's where you want to jump on that opportunity.
I love it, Larry. I tell you, we're hitting some really good stuff. I think it's all about positioning. No matter what the market's doing, ups and downs and all arounds, positioning is really the key. And we can go back to one simple principle of being a real estate agent and reaching out to the lowest hanging fruit. FSBOs expired. Don't forget about the pre-foreclosure, the notice of trustee, notice of default. Those numbers are on the rise. Pay attention to them, help them get. Most of them want to keep their home, but a lot of them can't. So if you're a resource for them to help them, maybe a short sale or maybe a quick sale, because if they don't deal with it, they will go back to the bank. And then those banks need a great representation, and that positions you for that next wave. And I just saw somebody jump on, Wendy Martin, who does, if you have not done BPO training, you absolutely need to, not to put you on the spot, Wendy. But I tell you what, if you're not doing BPOs, it's going to be very difficult to excel in that space. Larry, thank you for expanding on the default space. You and I both have quite a bit of experience in that realm, and that's much appreciated.
One point, here in, I'm in Riverside, County, California. The numbers right now are 1 in 3,600 homes are in foreclosure.
That's brutal.
Pre-foreclosure. There's an REO market coming here soon.
Yeah.
Those are
here's
huge
the other
numbers.
part. Mentioning Wendy Martin, she's on the panel that I'm speaking on at NADP and stuff as well. And we're talking about how to diversify, right? Like she teaches a lot of agents how to make income and pay their bills, like using BPOs. But every BPO, they're evaluating that asset for a reason, right? It's either for a refinance. It's because somebody is being foreclosed on. They didn't make their first mortgage payment. They're trying to reduce PMI. Those are also leads, right? Like those are precursors. So what if you got in and did an interior BPO and you could help those people avoid it with a short sale? Maybe they could sell it and actually have equity and stuff like that, right? So this is the time to think outside of the box, right? And what does your business and stuff look like in the future? Can look like whatever you want it to.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, Wendy, not to put you on the spot, but I'm gonna. Why don't you just, can you unmute yourself, Wendy, real quick?
Hey.
Hi there. How are you?
Hot.
Awesome. Hey, listen, I just wanted 2 seconds Tell us the importance of doing a BPO and some of the features and benefits of that real quick to kind of coattail on what Larry was just saying.
Yeah, I see a lot of people on here I know who do BPOs, maybe some don't, but it's everything when you have an REO and a short sale as well. In fact, if it's not an FHA short sale, your BPO will set the list price for that short sale. So it means everything. I'll tell you a really quick story. I just had an appraiser come to one of my REOs, but it wasn't the appraiser, it was his assistant. And that appraisal came in 150 grand over my BPO. And the AM said to me, clearly, Wendy, you don't know how to do a BPO. And I'm like, what? So I reported that the person we met didn't bring a ladder, wasn't prepared, didn't know anything about appraisals. And they got that appraisal canceled due to an ethics violation. And the new appraisal came within $50 of my BPO.
Wow.
So it's everything.
That is awesome. So guys, bottom line, if you're not doing BPOs, and if you don't know what BPO is, broker price opinion, it is, like Larry just said, a great way to get a little pulse on what's going on in the market. If nothing else, it makes you a great agent at coming up with value. Wendy, thank you. And if you have a chance, if it's available, I would love for you to drop your link in the chat if it's available. If not, no worries. I'll share it with people. But Larry, I was hoping that we can go into a kind of a rapid fire Q&A and then open it up to the audience and see if any remaining questions are there. Are you ready for that?
Let's get after it.
I love it. I love it. Question number one I have, what's the biggest mistake agents are making in today's market, in your opinion?
Oh, biggest mistake is they're not adapting. They're not changing, because everything is changing in real estate with technology, with AI, with brokerages and stuff like that. And like this mindset of, that's not the way that I've done it. Like, that's not the way you're going to be able to do it. The market is shifting. You don't want to be the MySpace of real estate, right? Like, so like align yourself with the right people, the right mentors, the right coaches, like whoever, right? The right networking groups, and push yourself. Now is the time to get outside of your comfort zone to set up for the future if you want to stay in the market.
Great. Larry, what are the best listing opportunities right now?
Center of influence, expireds, and FISBOs.
I happen to agree with you right there. There's nothing worse than a friend or family posting on Facebook, we just bought a new home. Woo! Oh, Robert, can I ask you a question? We just bought a new home. So trust me, if they don't know you're in real estate, that's job number one, man. So I have a question. How can agents pivot to win more business in a changing market? Give us kind of an idea of like a next step they can do to take action.
Oh my God. Like, first and foremost, write a damn business plan. Like, again, you got to get it down. You have to know where you're going. Like, and most agents don't know where they're going. They're like, oh, I want to do more business. What does that mean? Right? Like, so first and foremost, to pivot, right? Like, you have to have an idea of what you're trying to build. So you have to put that down on paper. And when you build out that plan, like, then you'll have all of the action items needed and to get there. So you don't need to learn it. Like, you just need to follow your plan. Success, like a lot of you guys are on some of my growth masterminds and stuff like that. Success is not sexy. It is consistent. Like, I do the same thing. Like, my kids, if I brought them in here, they could recite my scripts, like, because they've heard it every single day. Like, so I remember one time my kids were like, somebody asked, hey, what does your dad do? It's like, I don't know. He sits on there and he's like, my man, right? Like, that's how I talk to like people when I get on the go. I'm like, gosh, right? Like, that's my son's interpretation of what do I do? I don't know. I talk to people and he calls them my man, right? Like, and he does this, right? But get a business plan together, figure out what lead sources that you want, and then start digging into those. Guys, the training is free. Like, go onto YouTube, go onto this, go onto that. The information is out there to teach you how to be better at everything. If your broker isn't supporting you, if your mentors aren't supporting you, if you don't have the right networking groups, the information is there. You just have to lean into it.
Amen. Man, that's awesome.
Yep. What are the top 3 habits of agents thriving today?
They get up early, right? Like they don't show up at 10 a.m., right? Like that's not working well, because here's the thing, you also have to focus on yourself, right? So the ones that wake up early, they do their morning routines and this and that, and you know, the Jeff Russells of the world, rather, like, I mean, man, they're prospecting not at 8 o'clock, at 7:58, because they want to be the first calls and stuff that are going out, right? So habits that I notice among successful people is they wake up early, they have their dollar productive activity scheduled, as Robert had mentioned. And what I mean by that, I use the acronym PLAN, PLAN, prospecting, lead follow-up, appointment setting, and negotiation. That should be 80% of your day. If it's not, you need to readjust your day if you want to do more business, because you're letting filler work take up your time. You're death scrolling, you're doing something else. That should be 80% of your time. So waking up early, scheduling everything, and then like leaning into like learning, right? Like constantly having this growth mindset, not like, I know how to do this. How could I learn this better? Right? Even from people that maybe have less than you or have done less than you, having an open mind that maybe you could learn something because they don't have this jaded perspective of a FSBO or expired, right? There's one of my favorite stories from Tom Ferry. He talks about these, it's the 1800s, and there's these shoemakers, right? Like, because people used to, like, forget what they're, Keeblers, that's what they're called, right? Like these Keeblers would make these shoes, right? And so this company was expanding to Africa. And so he sends 2 salespeople over, and in the beginning, everybody's excited. Oh my gosh, we get to go open up this new market. This is going to be great. They're tracking these letters of them writing back, guys, I'm going to change our family's lives. This is going to be amazing. And then they get there and they start to notice that people aren't wearing shoes, right? They're walking around barefoot. And slowly you can start to see the perception like change between these 2 salespeople. One is writing back like, babe, I don't know. I think we're going to have to come back home. Like, people don't wear shoes here. Like, how do you sell shoes to somebody that doesn't wear shoes? And then the other side is like, oh my God, babe, nobody wears shoes here. Like, the opportunities are endless. We can sell more shoes to anybody than we've ever been able to have this, because nobody has shoes. So everybody is an opportunity. So no matter if you tell yourself you can, you can't, the market is good or bad, you're absolutely right. Like, whatever your perspective is, be open to changing your perspective and leaning into it.
Prospect, lead follow-up, appointments, negotiation. You got a plan. That is so important. I always like to say a day without a buyer or seller appointment should be a red flag in your business, because we're not doing the things we need to do. And I think it's important that most agents don't calendar it, number one. Number two, when they do calendar it, they get kind of creative avoidance. Oh, let me go to the restroom, then I'll start prospecting. You've really got to get committed and understand with clarity what your why is. So Larry knocked it out of the park as usual, man. I tell you, thank you so much for answering our questions. And what I'd like to do is just ask you, in closing, what do you want to say to the audience, whether they're on this call, they're on our YouTube channel, listening to it on our Spotify podcast? What do you want to say to the agents right now in closing?
Oh man, the opportunities are endless right now. There are more opportunities right now in the real estate market than I've seen in my 20 plus years of real estate. With these shifts, with everything that's happening, that creates space for new leaders in every one of those niches, right? Like, take advantage of it and have fun while you're doing it.
I like to have fun part, Larry. And I tell you, we've had some fun in our times, and I appreciate you for being on today. If you want to do, we can open it up to the audience for a couple of questions. And if anyone have any questions before Larry, before we get him back on his schedule? Look at that. And like what Larry says on his calls, this is the participation part. Well, Larry, you know what? I tell you this, if they have questions, they can certainly reach out to you, but we certainly appreciate your time. Cathy and I, we love doing these every Wednesday. The More Deals Mastermind, 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. You go to moredealsmastermind.com, jump on, learn, participate, get involved. Wendy, thank you for putting your link in the BPO. Larry MF White, my ambassador.
Yes.
Thanks for being on today, and we'll see you guys later.
All right.